Well, welcome, my friends, to another episode of WWP Reacts. Look, I got one for you today. The great Fani Willis from right here in Georgia. She says she's the greatest district attorney in the land. The one with Nathan Wade and all the belligerents. So let's listen. She was had to testify today in front of the Georgia uh, Senate committee. So let's listen in for a few minutes. Okay.
Federal park on my birthday for free. Now, with that being said, that was a party celebrating Black History Month, and I was so excited to get the
So excited celebrating Black History Month. I went out there and act like an idiot.
invitation, and leaders from all across the country literally came to not the White House, because I never went to the White House on that trip, and I think I was there like 24 hours. It was at the Vice President's house, but not actually at her house. It was in a tent on the lawn. Quite frankly, while we were there, I never got a chance even to.
Okay, at the vice president's house, at a tent on the lawn, but not at her house. Just a tent on the lawn. She never went to the White House. She's so full of crap. And the Biden administration, Harris, they just coming after Trump any way they could.
Meet the vice president, which was disappointing. I thought, you have all these people from all over the country there. You would like kind of do an assembly line and sign and, everybody take a picture, but that did not even occur. She did come on the stage at one point with her Secret Service all around her. I don't know what was going on, but Secret Service was all around her.
Oh, Secret Service all around her. I didn't know what was going on. Anytime the vice president and president speak, there's Secret Service around them. Nothing has to be going on, you stupid. You're a district attorney. Are you really that stupid? You are stupid. I'm ashamed that you're from this state of Georgia because you're stupid.
But it was still a very valuable trip because I got to meet leaders from all over the
Oh,
country
yes.
that were trying to service their communities. And so
Service.
I was honored that I was thought to be a leader worthy of having an invitation to that event.
What a joke.
And there was also a question about whether, Judge Wade had met with somebody from the January 6th committee and things of that nature. But let me ask you this, whether that took place or not, and there's a question about that, but whether that took place or not, would that have any relevance to the co-conspirators in this case who are going around from different states, making that stuff about the 2020 election and actually trying to do things that they were actually trying to do in this case?
We based our case on what we investigated. And as someone from the South and as a black woman, I've taken a lot of offense to this because there's been this indication.
As someone from the South and as a black woman, I take great offense. This is the black woman syndrome here in the South. I tell you right now, they take great offense to lots of things. They're always offended. Oh, they're repressed or this or that. Look at, she's district attorney for fuck's sake. Who the fuck in Fulton County would vote for her? What a bunch of morons.
That I'm not smart enough, or people from the South aren't smart enough to be able to do this type of complex investigation.
Listen to her. She thinks she's so much better than everybody. We're not smart enough. That just shows how little self esteem you have, lady. You're disgusting.
We did it. It was my team who did it. We did it all. And Dolezal, so I hope that I pronounced your name right because I want to, Senator Dolezal, asked about ethics. I think he should know if we want a full picture of ethics that Judge McBurney, who he just mentioned, one of the fake electors threw him a fundraiser. So while we having facts, I want to make sure we get all the facts out here.
And when we're talking about also with, Judge Wade billing and things of that nature, did that cause at all?
Judge Wade. Judge Wade. Oh my God. They're talking about Nathan Wade, her boyfriend concubine. He calls him another brother, calling another brother a judge. Judge Wade. Woo!
The record would show that the vice president's personal attorney, based on what these conspirators actually were doing, actually called a former federal judge and said, you need
I'm
to
going to fast forward a little bit.
to say that Vice President Pence must actually certify this election because he was so concerned that there might be not.
And then I'm going to stop when we get to another section.
Anything about this building have any impact on any of that kind of thing taking place at all?
Nothing about this building can bring back the 5 lives that were lost on January 6th, to include, I understand that 4 were people that were in the mob, but they didn't deserve to lose their lives. One is very personal to me because it was a police officer just trying to serve. And here goes another example of a good American, and this is not about parties that you all have tried to make it.
Losing their lives on January 6th. No police officer lost their lives on January 6th. The only body that lost their lives was that young lady. Period. Cop shot her. Ah, so frustrating, huh? This keeps going on and on.
Kill our Vice President Pence. Now, I probably have never agreed politically with anything Pence said, but what I do know is he has a right to do his job and to be free from harm. And we're trying to, we say we're not for violent crime, but we sure like violent criminals
was Pence in harm's way?
And we also talked about, what is it called, critical measures?
Mentions,
critical mentions. So you've been discussing that, where critical mentions actually have anything to do with the fact that just yesterday, as a matter of fact, 2 former co-conspirators, because the case has been dismissed, I think Mr. Roman and Mr. Cheesebro, just yesterday in Wisconsin, was held to answer charges, 4 felony charges, for actually creating a fake electric program that was similar to what was prosecuted right here in Georgia. That they're going to be felony charges facing those, and there were 2 conspirators in this particular case that had the same kind of scheme. Anything about his billing or anything about critical mentions have anything to do with the fact that 2 persons that were indicted in your case, right now, just yesterday, a judge in Wisconsin said, you're going to face charges, 11 charges, based on similar scheme that took place.
Obviously, this brother here, Senator, is on her side. I want to get to some of the other stuff she said, because she's insanely nuts.
Adequate evidence, they will put forth an indictment. It should be known by the general public that not all felonies require an indictment. Some of your lower level felonies.
I'm not sure if you watched the testimony. We had a couple DAs that testified, one of whom, and I apologize, I don't recall the gentleman's name. He essentially, I'm going to paraphrase here, said that he believed that, or I think he stated that it would be fine with him if we struck the entire code section as it related to special purpose grand juries, because in his opinion, that kind of blurred the line between investigator and prosecutor, and it puts you in the position of kind of being the investigator and the trier of fact. I don't know if you've heard about this testimony or not.
I haven't heard this testimony, but what I do know is Coca-Cola and the girl that sells lemonade, they both sell liquids, but it ain't the same work. And so you brought people from jurisdictions.
Oh, she's so witty. They both sell liquid, but not.
That do not do the complexity of cases that I do. Now, all work is honorable work, so hear that. And prosecutors everywhere are trying their best to uphold the law. But to get somebody from a jurisdiction where they got 15 lawyers and, they bring a grand jury once every 6 months, and to ask them to discuss my work, where I'm running grand jury 4 times a year and 12,000 new felony cases. 4 times a week. And, 12,000 felonies a year and the most complex cases, that this state sees.
Oh, she is so miraculous. Wow. Unbelievable.
I don't think you were talking to people that you should have been. So I disagree with him, and I don't even think he has the ability to comment on the work of the Fulton County DA.
Well,
and I noticed that you didn't bring any diversity here when you brought witnesses. You brought all Republican, Caucasian people to come and to tell you about my work. I don't need
diversity. You didn't bring diversity here. I noticed you didn't bring diversity. What the hell does diversity have to do with holding you accountable, you stupid idiot? You brought all Caucasians.
Daddy to tell me how to do my work. I know how to do my work.
Yeah,
I don't need Daddy to tell me how to do my work. I know how to do my work because I'm so smart.
I don't recall any of the DAs that came commenting on your case at all or your work at all. It was more so trying to get a broad swath of the state, somewhere from.
But it would be like me telling you how to run a DA's office in a rural community. I don't know.
Well, the challenge for us, Madam DA, is we have to write laws that do give respect and deference to the reality that there are larger jurisdictions like yours, and there are smaller ones, and there are a lot of DAs around the state that have to follow the same.
Well, that brings us to another law. When you all are trying to decide the salaries of district attorneys, you surely should not compare those that have my volume of work to those that have smaller jurisdictions of work. Now, I know it brings ire to some. That is
Oh, I know. I should get so much more money than someone from a lower jurisdiction or a district attorney of a smaller jurisdiction.
Democratic DAs that keep most of this state safe. But the reality is they run the largest jurisdictions. They happen to, in most cases, be minority, and they deserve to make more money.
They deserve to make more money because they're minorities? Really? Wow.
Chairman, may I since I was here, could I explain the difference?
Trevor, I think we'll defer to you, not because you were a governor, but because you started your illustrious career in the Georgia State Senate.
Well, I started
So, well, your first elected role was in this chamber.
with a grand jury, and there are lawyers everywhere that do not understand this. When a grand jury, you present a bill of indictment or special presentment.
This is the ex-governor of Georgia, but he is a Fani Willis bootlicker. I don't understand why he is. I think it's because he's a lefty, and lefties stick together even if they're fucking idiots.
You can do it either way. Don't know exactly who should be indicted.
We are equipped to do it. We are doing it. I think that what has happened is the complexion of the DAs have changed. And so now there's all this concern. Now we need a QAnon committee, the oversight committee y'all have come up with. Now we need a statewide grand.
A QAnon committee, an oversight committee. She's equating to QAnon. She's equating. Look at all the senators from the right, writing down QAnon. She's calling us QAnon conspiracy theorists. Wow, she just loves pushing buttons.
We need to take rights away. No, it's just fine how it's always been.
I think what he's contemplating, at least as he kind of jotted some thoughts out to me, would be concurrent jurisdiction, where you would still have autonomy, but the Attorney General would also have the ability to prosecute cases. You would be opposed to...
They already have that ability.
Okay.
They have that ability. So then in my office, but all over the country, people are losing valuable grant money to do the work of the people. And that is going to require some work of the legislature because the state's going to have to kick in more. This year alone, I lost 14 employees as of September 30th because not as many grants are being given. Grant work just does excellent things for community. And the grant, so that we're clear.
So now she's trying to go after Trump again because, we've saved a lot of money for the United States government and got rid of a lot of the pork. And now she's going to say, and to be clear, it's going after marginalized communities. How much do I bet that's what she's going to say? I haven't seen this, so let's see what she says.
They're actually not the Fulton County District Attorney's grants. They're not the Atlanta Judicial Circuit's grants. They are the grants of the county, so they are not my grants. So that's a misnomer, slang.
Of those 13, were they prosecutors or were they admin? What do they do?
A combination of everything. Some lawyers, some investigators.
The letter specifically notes that your office received $500,000 in 2020 to open a youth empowerment and gang prevention center.
You know I wasn't the DA in 2020.
Correct. I'm just going to ask you if the money for the grant has been used for that purpose, to your knowledge.
I wasn't the DA in 2020. I can't speculate.
After receiving Mr. Grassley's letter, did you have the opportunity to look into the use of that $500,000?
I don't believe I did. I don't think I responded to Mr. Grassley.
Okay.
Of course not. You didn't respond.
The letter highlights a report
arrogant.
that roughly $89,000 of those funds have been diverted.
The United States Senator asked you if the $500,000 given to your office, even though you weren't the Attorney General, in 2020, $500,000 was it spent appropriately, and you didn't even give the sitting senator the respect of answering his letter?
To what is known as the Offender Alumni Association. Is that report accurate to your knowledge?
I don't have any knowledge, and I'm not going to speculate.
Okay. When Ms. Timpson...
You're absolutely right. You have no knowledge.
...was here, she previously testified that she discovered the office was using these grants and expenses that were not eligible for the grant. Specifically, she mentioned swag, computers, and travel.
And didn't know what she was talking about, which is why our cases were dismissed.
So is it your testimony that the funds were not used for swag, travel, or computers?
Let me speak specifically to the one that I know about.
Okay.
I bought a computer for a grant employee. I did not use grant funds to buy it. I can, which I do with all my grants. It's never enough. So you always do things to support the people working on the grants. But what I can tell you is
What
the
a
cases
joke.
were dismissed because they had no merit.
She
One was just dismissed on summary judgment.
she testified that she had brought this to your attention in late 2021. Do you recall that conversation?
I do not recall it. What I recall is Ms. Timpson being a troubled employee that did not.
This gentleman is so calm, cool, collected, and she gets so defensive. Look at, I'm not gonna go through this whole thing, but this is Fani Willis again, continuing to hurt the reputation of the state of Georgia. And when are we gonna get rid of her, state of Georgia? When are we gonna hold her accountable? Come on, voters of Fulton County. Why are you keeping her in office? Come on, the Senate, state Senate, do something. Censure her, something. Impeach her. And come on, City of Atlanta, arrest her. She deserves to be in prison, in my opinion. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for joining another WWP Reacts. If you'd like to see more about this kind of content with some commentary, let me know. Leave something in the comments, and look forward to talking to you next time. Have a great day.